scissor. Both wanna be right, loose side cut with one blade and a scissor. Are you willing to go away when I want you?
In a giant sea of cool podcasts, you ran aground on us. The only atoll that kicks the cool to the reef. I'm everyone's big sister Shishi.
And I am the Earth's big little brother Tone.
And I am the tide's little brother Wopsle.
We bring you the reviews and the openings you didn't know you needed.
That's right. Everyone needed
That's
this opening.
every week. Yeah. Another great opening.
Wopsle brought it so hard last time, I had to bring it.
That was good, She.
Chalk it up to another great opening.
Uh-huh. Now, did you write that out, She? Did you have a script for that? Or
I have notes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have notes. I have to have notes, or I forget,
yeah.
or I forget words.
Do your notes say start off kind of boring, but then stop and start over?
Yeah, it says, my notes just say, be fabulous. And I forgot to read my notes before I started. So then once I realized that I wasn't following my notes.
Yeah. And you suddenly said, I forgot to be fabulous. That's all. And then you immediately started smizing.
Was smizing?
Yeah, smizing.
What is that?
It's when you smile with your eyes only. Wait, is that what it is, Wopsle?
It's definitely a model thing. Yeah. But it's fiercer than that, right? Smizing is like you mean something.
Yeah.
You mean business.
You mean business with your eyes only?
With your eyes only.
Yeah.
Well, I got to learn more about this. I have to learn more about this. Smizing.
People are like, his eyes mean business, but the beer cap, the hard hat with the cans on the side and the straws going to his mouth say the opposite.
Right.
But he's smizing, so he must mean business.
Now, I'm smile challenged. I have a really hard time smiling on command. Really, really hard time. And sometimes my kids tell me that I laugh without any facial expression at all.
Oh, that's creepy as hell.
Exactly.
So creepy.
Exactly. So I'm still not sure what the point of smizing is.
Well, here's what I found is it's actually assume a playful or alluring expression of the eyes.
Just the eyes.
Just the eyes, though.
I'm going to practice this. I think today's International Selfie Day, the day that we're recording also. So I'm just going to take some smizing selfies and see, and I'll send them to you, and you guys tell me how I do. Will that work?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Oh, yeah.
And then we should probably post them. I don't want to make any promises because I might not do it. But I'd love to post and get somebody else's take on that.
Well, the video of you laughing with expressionless laughing and the selfies of you smizing are going to be our first things that are behind a paywall.
All right, guys. Well, are we ready to start these reviews today? We got a lot of people to help, and they are waiting for us to stop smizing and actually review something. So, Tony, you're up first. What do you got for us today?
Well, you don't always have to get outside of the box, and you don't always have to get crazy. Sometimes you just go with the normal, boring, predictable thing, and everybody loves it because it's comfy. It's like a good old pair of shoes. And that's
mashed
what we
potatoes.
like to... Yeah, mashed potatoes. Just pork rinds. You know what I mean?
Right.
So our version of pork rinds and mashed potatoes, a meal everyone should try tonight. Our version of pork rinds and mashed potatoes is someone we like to call Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, and TJ for short. He is our most prolific recommender, and this week he has recommended that we review grocery store coupons, and I have just a fire burning in my heart to help people in this topic.
I love the topic. I am still stuck on the fact that you just really insulted our most prolific person by comparing him to mashed potatoes
and pork rinds.
And that's so boring, and that's why he's great. So I don't know, TJ. I don't know how boring he really is.
It's because he's comfortable. If you tell me that I remind you of mashed potatoes, then I'm loving that. I'm like, yes, I did it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I love mashed
unlocked.
potatoes. Yeah. But I like bland things. So that's where I'm coming from. I guess I like TJ because he's bland.
We've discovered that TJ's kind of bland. even though he has really good review topics, he's,
Totally.
he's
All
the
right.
predictable option.
Oh,
Yeah,
get it. I get it.
He also has the coolest haircut and most tattoos of anyone that you guys know. So, he's the least bland person
He's
that I know.
the least bland person.
He really is. He's like spicy mashed potatoes.
Oh, all gratin. Okay.
Gratin.
My version is salt and pepper on my mashed potatoes.
Getting crazy. Wop, so what do you think about grocery store coupons?
I think they're so great. I love them. The first thing that I think about is I remember the first present I ever bought our mother, like on my own. I bought her a coupon envelope because I was thinking, what is our mother really going to appreciate for Christmas? A little blue envelope to hold her coupons in. And
okay.
I don't necessarily remember her using coupons, but I remember her for years carrying around that blue coupon envelope. So
she used them. Well, she cut them out. I think she forgot to use them most of the time.
Okay, so that runs in the family, doesn't it? Because I do that same thing.
Me too. Yeah.
I love coupons. I think they're great. And man, I always forget them. They're always sitting in the car next to me after I drive through a place and meant to use it. And then I'm driving away and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot.
Yep.
Shishi, what do you think about grocery store coupons?
Well, I am exactly the same way. I don't ever use them anymore. When I was home with the kids all the time and I had plenty of time to do it, I clipped coupons and I used them. And sometimes you can get a store that's like double coupons on a certain day or something. That's when you really make bank on them. Sometimes you can even get money back. But those are for the super couponers. And I think they have an actual name, but I don't remember what it is. So
I think it's called Super Cubes.
Super Cubes.
Super Cubes.
Super Coops. Well, some people say coupons.
Right. Some
Which
people say cupping.
Cupping. Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so weird.
At least one person does.
Yeah. I heard him.
You're Carl. It's probably Carl.
Cuppins. I want cuppins.
Carl.
I think he might have been Bernie Sanders too. I'm not sure. The American people need cuppins.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so I don't really like them anymore because you have to buy the expensive thing, to get. And then so you might as well just get the generic without the coupon. And then you're not holding up everyone in line.
Now, I got to tell you guys a little story about what I did. Somebody sent me in an email. They said, hey, I heard you were on hard times and might be able to use some of these coupons.
Oh.
So I did not believe that these coupons would work at all. And at the time, I was unemployed and in a very bad place in my life. I was donating plasma for my money. And so to get any sort of treat was a big deal.
Yeah.
And one of these coupons was a free large bag of Doritos.
Ooh. Score.
And then it was free 2-liter bottles of Coca-Cola and Diet Coke. So I go in there and the coupons work perfectly. No questions asked. I get a giant bag of Doritos and a 2-liter bottle of Coke. And so I go back, I print those coupons out. I print it out like a giant stack of them. And every day or every other day, I would go into Walmart and I would I'd get a couple of bags of Doritos and I'd get a couple of bottles of 2 liters of Coke. And it was this lasted for probably 3 months.
Wow.
I got hundreds of dollars of Doritos and Diet Coke. And Walmart never had a problem with it.
How is that a good business model?
Right?
I know that they get reimbursed by the companies that issue the coupons. So what's in it for Doritos? And
I bet this was part of the plan. They were looking for free podcasting advertisements.
Oh.
Right.
And they knew if we just let people walk in there and walk out with stuff, they're going to be talking about it.
They were like, someday there is going to be a thing called podcasts. And when that happens, we're going to have a shoe-in for sure.
For this
because of these
old
coupons.
story.
Yep.
Yeah, no purchase necessary. I don't know that that's a coupon that I didn't know that exists anymore.
Right.
Just a straight up, here's a free thing.
Yeah, just
That's
walk
good.
in and get something free. Now, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan did specify that this is grocery store coupons. So, but does anyone else coupon for other things? You know what I mean? Is anyone clipping coupons for electronics? I mean, I don't think that you don't walk in with a coupon for half off on a Sanyo disc player. You know?
Yeah, I've never seen one of those.
So yeah, you got the coupon codes now that, are kind of in the same space.
Mm-hmm.
But I think those are a different review because I'm thinking like the clipping out, the taking something in, the transaction. Because I think that's one of the interesting things about coupons is you always kind of feel like this might not work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I have this piece of paper, or you know what I'm thinking about too? Like, I guess eventually I had confidence, but back in the day, you could walk in and buy a Dr. Pepper and then open it up to drink it and look in the lid and it would say free Dr. Pepper just like in the lid. And you take it back in and get another one. And then your first one didn't have a lid, which was kind of a bummer. But still, you could like, you walk back in and they just saw you leave with that other one. And you're like, I have this lid. Can I have this second Dr. Pepper? And they're like, yes.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
It always felt so weird.
I love what you said. Like, you every time you use them, you're like, is this really going to work? No.
I remember having my kids help me clip the coupons, and I remember helping Mom cut out her coupons out of the Sunday paper. And so I guess Wopsle doesn't remember that because he doesn't even remember that she used them, but I bet you do, Tony. Do you remember helping her cut them out? Didn't it just bug you to death when, so like they had the little dotted line around it and then a little half scissor to show you that you were going to cut it. But I always wanted to cut it in the direction of the scissors. And then when I cut over those scissors, it made me mad. I don't know what it was about that. Something in my brain thought that I shouldn't do that, and I had to get it right on that dotted line. And it was never perfect enough.
Cutting out around the scissors to leave them intact.
No, it has to be a straight line. That's what was so bad about it. Now, when I got to be an adult, I was like, slashing whatever. I would just use a butcher knife and just.
Yeah. Yeah. Your scissors were moving so fast that they looked like Edward Scissorhands,
right.
Fingers flying around.
As long as the little barcode was intact, I was good.
You're like, I have this coupon. I cut off the part that says what it's for. Could you just scan it and see what it does for me?
It's for this, I promise.
This is kind of like a canned food with no label. It's like, It's kind of like that. I'm going to save some money on something. Just tell me what.
Yeah.
And they're like, and then of course they say it's, adult diapers. And you're like, oh, okay.
All right then.
All right. Well, I think we should rate this bad boy. Wopsle, what do you rate grocery store coupons?
I'm still kind of uneasy about coupons, so I'm going to have to rate them. I might be robbing the place. There's a chance that this is a robbery. Right. That's what I'm going to name it. That's what I'm going to rate coupons.
There's a chance that this is a robbery.
Yes.
That's a good rating. Shishi, what do you rate grocery store coupons?
I rate grocery store coupons half off the good pork and beans.
The good pork and beans. The one that actually has a nice piece of fat in it.
Yeah. I remember eating those out of the can. I don't think I could today.
No, I remember as a kid going, is there really pork in here? Are we going to really call it pork and beans? Like, pork's first?
Shouldn't it be beans? Beans and pork?
Right.
Beans
Pork's
and,
the first
and a tiny
ingredient.
piece of pork fat.
Is there anyone that's just eating through their pork and beans and then they see that piece of fat, the one piece of fat in the whole can, and they go, oh, and they get excited. They're like, yes, like a delicacy.
I hate to throw this in after two of us have already rated, but I forgot about the strange foods that they have in the coupons. Like they don't have regular pork and beans in your coupons. They'll have like caliente, jalapeno pork and beans.
Right.
Or
yeah.
Sangria. Sangria pork and beans, or just something really strange. And then
Sangria, pork, and beans.
yeah, that would be worth it probably. Anyway, continue.
I am going to rate grocery store coupons. And I will point out that during this review, I have used the term, I have used the word coupons and coupons interchangeably for a little while. As I was even stuck on coupons, if you remember that moment.
I do.
But I'm not on that anymore. So I'm going to rate grocery store coupons. I'm going to rate it $384 worth of Doritos.
Yay.
All right.
Yay.
Oh, man. That's a good bunch of Doritos.
Thanks, TJ, for another great review topic. We just keep them coming. You're the thing. You're the guy that keeps us going. Seriously. The goat. You're the goat. Okay, so I guess it's Wopsel's.
He's like I'm mashed potatoes. I'm the goat.
You're mashed potatoes with chives, buddy.
Do these guys even like me?
Right. Why do they hate me?
You're
they called me pork rind. They call me pork rinds.
You're twice baked. That's how good you are.
Oh.
My favorite kind of mashed potatoes.
Every one of us went to high school with a kid named Pork Rind, and we don't want TJ to be that kid.
No, TJ, you're not pork rind. No. That's what we call Carl.
Behind his back.
Old pork rind. Here comes old pork rind.
All right. Well, that was great. Wopsel, what do you have for us today?
Today I just want to review the classics. I'm just talking about like the classics.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like everyone's wondering about
like
these
the
things.
best kind
What
of.
do you think about the classics?
I think the best time ever was like late 70s, early 80s. Don't you agree? That was the best time.
The classics?
Yeah. Like all of the stuff that happened then, like you have the best music, you have the best TV shows, you have the best weather. So
even the weather was better, yeah.
Classic.
Well, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well,
should I start over?
No.
I think that's good. I just like that you were just like the late 70s, early 80s. That's the classics.
Right.
You didn't specify like a medium or like an arena
It's
whatsoever.
all classic.
It's all the classics. Okay, well, Tone, how do you feel about the classics?
Oh, the classics whenever during the Triassic period. Oh, my goodness. That was, remember that? Oh, it was so old. It was so long ago. It was like 300 million years ago. Oh, the classics. Every time I hear those classics, I just get going. It'll take me back to my youth, back when I would hang out with Triceratops.
What was that one song from the Triassic area?
T-Rex ain't got arms. T-Rex ain't got arms to speak about. T-Rex ain't got arms.
Mm-hmm.
T-Rex, he got problems. That's the classic of all the classics.
That is a classic. That is a classic.
Oh man, what a good song.
That is a good one. Yeah. Well, I mean, the Triassic period was pretty great. I also think the 70s and 80s were pretty great.
Did you say the Prilosec period was pretty good?
Well, that's coming up, but that's going to be a good one too. Is eventually anything you're doing becomes the classics, right? Eventually.
Yes.
It's kind of like what Andy said at the end of The Office. He said, I kind of wish that we knew we were in the classics before we actually left them.
Wow.
That's really deep.
Deep, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's what I think. Interesting thing about the classics that I'm thinking of is part of me thinks of classics as like 50s and like those sweet Chevy cars that were always pulled up to the drive-in. Kind of a real kind of like late 50s or 60s kind of deal. The cool kids with the slick back hair.
Right.
That's kind of classic. But then classic rock is definitely like Catfest, is like hair rock. Kind of rocking. So classics is subjective just a little bit, I think.
Yeah,
Well, and then classical classical
Right.
music, right?
White wigs and makeup.
Harpsichords.
Herpes or something like right.
Herpes.
Harpsichords.
Harpsichords. You must have
Just got
you
so
must be
sad.
talking about a different classic than I was.
It's so classic. So classic.
Classic case of the herpes.
I have jokes that I am not going to make.
Thank you, she.
Well, so I'm just thinking that, okay, so when I was a kid, the classics, the golden oldies were the doo-wops, like you're talking about, the 50s era, maybe early 60s. And then in the 80s, classic rock was like Led Zeppelin and, early Aerosmith and all of them. Well, I tell you what, stuff that they were playing in the 90s is now on the classic rock station. And, it's just like, it's crazy.
The funniest thought to me is if someone hears Oops, I Did It Again and says, the classics.
Yeah, that's, yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you think about that, if something came out in 2001, it was 20 years ago, and it doesn't feel that way to me. It feels like it was 2001 was just a minute ago, right? But so yeah, people, there's all kinds of people who are like listening to 2010s music and going, oh, the classics.
Oh, the classics, nostalgia. I remember 3rd grade learning to walk.
What?
Hearing the song.
Third grade learning to walk.
Again, after the accident.
3rd grade was a hard year.
Those classics got me through it.
Got me through it.
Well, part of what made me thinking about this is I saw this video on about Saturday Night Live, and the guy made the quote that everybody always talks about how Saturday Night Live isn't as good as it used to be. Right? Everyone says that all the time.
Right.
This cast isn't what it used to be. But he said the funny thing is every person, if you ask them who the best cast is, it's the cast that was on there when they were 13 years old.
When they first started watching it.
For every person.
Right.
Yes. For
Yeah.
every person, no matter what.
Yep.
And I was like, no, that's not true. It really was Chris Farley and Mike Myers and Dana Carvey really were the
Right.
best.
Yeah.
And I did the math and I was like, wait, I was 13 when they were the cast.
But now, you know what? I'm going to turn this on its head because I think the cast we have right now is the best cast. So there, what are you going to do with that? This one's classic. We're in the classics now.
Through the whole concept, she just threw it on its head.
Yeah, just this review's over.
Yeah.
This is like, you just like really red pill, blue pilled this moment to realize we're in the middle of the classics right now.
Yes.
Look around. You're here.
Hey,
this is
You're
it.
here.
Well, and think about the huge, like, there are camps for Doctor Who, like who's the best doctor? Well, of course, I don't know his name, but the guy with the scarf is the best doctor because he's the one that I used to sneak into the living room and watch after 10 o'clock when I was supposed to be in bed.
Right.
Yep.
So do we all have this natural thing? You know what I think it is fear. I think that people are scared of the new thing. And that's why, we see technology as far as research and groundbreaking technology come out all the time, but we don't see it adopted in our homes. And I think it's because people are scared of the future. They're scared of change. And so that's why we don't, the classics are always better than whatever's current because we don't like change. That's my take.
Here's a perspective. I think that we have our favorites, our classics that, like, you always think that everything was better in your childhood and why can't it just be that way again? And it's because you weren't working when you were a kid. It's because you weren't putting food on the table. You weren't cooking dinner. You weren't, disciplining. You weren't worrying about anything. You didn't know what was going on. So of course it was better, but that doesn't mean the world was better. That doesn't mean TV was better. It just means that you're comfortable with that because that's when you were happy. That's when it was easy for you.
So you're suggesting MTV Beach House wasn't as great as I remember. But it's because I watched it and had no concept of responsibility or time or anything. And I associate it. I remember it's like, it was so good.
Yeah.
No, just life is great when you're like 14 and nobody cares what you're doing.
Well, you're experiencing things for the first time.
Yeah.
And so there's you still have that childlike joy and wonder. And so then, yeah, that's not beaten out of you yet.
Yeah, you don't know when something's been overdone or cliche or
Right.
yeah.
I remember one time I was at a Dashboard Confessional concert. So, of course, this was, 2006 for a long time ago. And I remember one part in the show when he said into the mic, "Do you guys want to hear a new song or an old song?" And then the crowd just yelled out so loud, "Old song!"
How disheartening for
And
him.
then he played some old song. And I remember in the middle of that concert, I just sat down and my mind was blown. I was like, first of all, he already knew what song was next in the set.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But he also knew what the crowd was going to respond with.
Yes.
That everyone was going to yell, "Play some of your old stuff." And I was like, man, for any creator that wants to like reinvent themselves or do something weird or interesting or cool or new, it's a thankless venture.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
People want the classics.
Yep. So true.
Okay, well, let's figure out how to rate
Oh, boy.
the classics. So, this is going to be a big one, but you're up first. What do you rate the classics?
I'm going to rate the classics, that classic plaid pantsuit that my kindergarten teacher wore.
Hell yeah. I love it.
All right.
Miss Fruit. She got married 2 years later, so I don't know what her new name is, but she had the best plaid pantsuit, and I mean from top to bottom, blazer and
Oh,
everything.
that is nice.
It was great.
That is
Classic
nice.
fruit. That is
Classic.
classic fruit.
Classic fruit. She got married, changed her name to vegetable. Oh, no. I'm sorry, guys.
Man.
That was bad.
Yeah. All right, Tone, try to redeem yourself and rate classics better than that joke.
I'm going to rate classics, and this just came to me out of nowhere. It's so weird how these things, inspiration comes to you and hits, I'm going to rate the classics, red pill, blue pill. Red pill, blue
Oh,
pill.
yeah. So that's
Man.
good. That is good.
Yeah, thank you.
That is awesome.
really-
That may be the
I-
best rating ever.
Oh, man, my mind is blown. I think I'm going to have to rate classics. Their new stuff's not as good as their old stuff.
Ain't that the truth?
Yes.
which is said at every album release of every band ever
Yes.
after their first album. Poor guys.
Okay, so that was a really great topic. Wopsle, thank you for bringing the classics to us. And so since we're done with our second review, that means it's time for the 5-star review. Let's go.
Let's go.
5 stars.
You're so damn fed up that you gotta complain. Write a letter. You'll feel better. Reviews.
So this week's 5-star review is Oklahoma weather.
Oh,
They have
boy.
sponsored us
Right.
this week. Oklahoma
Yes.
weather. And so I'm just kind of, wondering if either one of you guys put away all your winter stuff because it was 98 degrees outside.
I did have an outdoor heater that I just now put up just a couple of days ago.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you're going to need it again tonight, right?
right, yes.
Because that's Oklahoma weather. Oklahoma weather is not afraid to flex on us. Like they know they're,
Right.
he knows he pulls the strings. That's it. And we have to dance because he's the puppet master. So you can't put away anything. You have, you got your mosquito nets out in December and you got your porch heaters out in July.
Can I tell you, we've got a guy that moved here recently that works in my office. And back in February, right after he moved here, we had that crazy snowstorm, like, the once in 100 years kind of deal.
Right.
And so he asked me, he said, "Hey man, is this normal?" And I said, "No, trust me, this is way out of the ordinary. We never have stuff like this." And he was like, "Oh, okay, that's crazy." Cause I didn't know that about Oklahoma. I was like, "No, it's totally out of the ordinary." And then, a couple weeks later, remember whenever we had like all that rain, like
Yes,
crazy amounts
for 2
all
weeks.
day, every single day.
Yeah.
And he asked me, he said, "Is this normal?" I said, no, man, it's really not normal. And he was like, okay, I didn't think so. I was like, no, trust me, it's not. And then last week or a couple weeks ago, whenever we had all those 100-degree days in a row, and the heat index was like 15 degrees above and he was like, is this normal from Oklahoma? And I told him, no, man, this isn't normal. This is really out of the ordinary. And he just looked at me like, I don't know what I'm talking. Do you even live here, bro? Like, what are you doing? And you know what I said? I said, that puppet master, Oklahoma weather, has done it again.
Because that's the only consistency with our weather is that there's no consistency. It can, every year, you're like, this is crazy. This has never happened before. Every single year, stuff like that happens. So.
Almost every season. Almost lately,
yes.
It feels like it's been every season. There's some groundbreaking weather event or something like that,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and, for a while there, back in the early 2000s, we were in a severe drought, really bad in Oklahoma. And we're not right now, but I've heard a lot of people say it's about to get pretty bad drought-wise over in the western side of the state again. Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's pretty good stuff. That's pretty...
Sometimes I say things and then they don't go anywhere.
Well, that is on brand though, Tone, because every week when someone asks us to review them, we do just kind of talk bad about them.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
so that's pretty good. Talk about how bad the weather is and how down it is and how bad how bleak the outlook is.
Well, that's par for the course of our 5-star review.
Totally.
And on that note, we really appreciate Oklahoma Weather for sponsoring us this week in our 5-star review. Thanks, Oklahoma Weather.
Thanks, Oklahoma
Thanks
Weather.
for the money, Oklahoma Weather.
Okay, well, I'm up last this week, and I find, without going into too much detail, I find myself single again. And I am not looking forward to dating. And so I think there's probably a lot of other women and men in my situation, and they want to know how to feel about dating apps. So, Tone, what do you think about dating and dating apps?
I'm a big fan, and I'm a big user. I'm like a what's it called, mega user.
Are you
of dating apps? You've got all the big ones like Plenty of Fish. You've got Match and Tinder and Bumble and Hinge, Kippo. You've got I can make a whole list of all of them if you'd like me to. Yeah, one's called Kippo.
Could you be more thorough than Google? If so, go ahead and send me that list.
I was going to say, I'll send you a link to this list that I found on Google.
Okay. Wopsle, what do you think?
Well, I was just thinking, you gotta download Sisso and Jacket Time.
What?
You gotta have like the all of the ones,
Squeaky.
You gotta have
Squeaky.
Squeaky.com. You gotta get that one. You gotta have Farmers Only, Swimmers Only, Knitters Only, Lonely Only. Like all of those.
One leg only.
There really is.
One leg
just so many.
.com.
Oh my gosh.
You got eHarmony, OkCupid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now
PF Chang's, like there's all of them.
PF Chang's. That's a good one because you get to eat while you're there. You take in a coupon? Are you kidding me? A PF Chang's coupon?
Here's what I'm thinking. What if PF Chang said, hey, there's all these dating apps and there's too many. You can't be a member at 30 different dating apps.
Right.
So just download the PF Chang's app, order some food on it, come to PF Chang's, and see if you meet somebody.
Right.
See if there's somebody else here that you want to hook up with.
So
just like in the space.
I think that what you're saying is then every app is almost a dating app. Like in some way. Like
yeah.
Yes. OklahomaCityZoo.com. Reserve your time. You might find somebody else walking around the zoo as well.
Ooh, I just thought of something. That is, yeah, you can do that if you don't mind talking to people.
Right.
But okay, why don't we have an Expedia for dating sites? They just go out, like one site that goes out to all the various dating sites and brings the best guys to you.
Yeah. Right.
Why don't they do that? And then you can tell them, you can narrow it down by eye color and, how they comb their hair.
How many legs
How many legs they have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the first question.
How many legs you looking for?
Yeah. How many legs are you looking for here?
Well, Wopsle, you probably, you've been married for a while. Were dating apps or online dating, I guess, there probably weren't any apps back then, but did you have any experience online dating?
No, I barely missed it, and I'm so glad I did because it's just a flippin' mess out there.
Flippin' mess.
It's just, I don't know. I'm not cut out for it. I don't know what I would have done. I'm not good. I'm so socially awkward anyway. The girl I ended up marrying, I knew her for 9 years before she liked me back. And I liked her all that time. And, I probably didn't talk to her in those 9 years.
I had no idea you guys knew each other that long before you started dating.
We met our freshman year in high school. And then she liked me back finally 9 years later. But yeah, and
I ain't got 9 years, okay?
I'm telling you, I'm not cut out. It's wild that I ended up marrying somebody as it is. So, I'm so awkward. I'm so I'm not cut out for dating, period. Online dating, even worse.
I don't.
It's a mess.
So, Tony, now I know that you were, you have extensive experience.
Yes.
What is your favorite online dating platform?
Well, I think Shooters is probably the best one because, oh man, that one date I went on. So I'm walking down the dirt road, the dirt street, and as I pass by the saloon, guy comes out, busts through the doors, rolls on, does a cartwheel, and then comes up blazing both guns. And I had to jump in a water barrel, and then a guy comes flying off the roof of the building. No one knows why. Just guy flying off the roof. Don't know if he got shot or what. And so then
did you do like a front flip? Like a front flip fall off the roof?
Exactly. Front flip fall off the roof, right?
I know what you're saying.
And so then, a couple of other guys were in the alley, jumped out of the alley and hid behind threw a wagon over on its side, hid behind it, started shooting. So it's the Wild West out there, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Are you sure you weren't at a Frontier City Wild West show?
It may have been that.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure. I have mental problems.
Wild West.
Oh, man. Well, I know that a lot of ladies, thank you for answering that so thoroughly, by the way.
You're welcome.
You just helped a ton of people. Well, okay. So as everyone knows, because I've said it many times, I'm 50. This is my 50th year.
Yeah.
So, right? I know it's such a good round number. I'm going to really hate being 51, but this is a hard time to be single because the pool from which I have to choose is so small, and either they're married or they're not married, but for a really good reason, or I'm a Democrat and everyone else is Republican. So there's a lot of stuff that I have to look for. And I hear all of these horror stories from other women about their experiences, getting unsolicited certain kind of picture, that has a nice rhyming name.
Dog pics.
What? Dog pics?
Pic. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, probably.
You always hear women complaining. Oh, he sent me a dog pic. First thing. Hadn't even hardly said hi to him.
I tell you what, you're being funny, but they really do love to put pictures of their dogs on these dating apps.
That's
on their profiles. It's so weird. I don't care what your dog looks like.
There's a part of me that feels like that's going to be an in with the ladies. If I had a dating app, it would definitely have my dog on it.
Oh yeah, you got to have the doggo.
Maybe only.
I guess. I mean, no,
Just
you're
a picture of
joking.
my dog.
But they really do that. That is their only profile picture. Is their dog. I guess it's their dog. It could be anyone's dog.
A dog.
It's so weird.
I'm a big fan of this particular dog. I don't own it. I don't know who it is. I don't know the guy. But I love this dog right here.
It's got the iStock photo watermark on it. It's just a pretty good looking dog.
Some pictures of another dog even came in my wallet when I bought it. I just left them in there.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, I've never gotten one of those pics, though. I've never gotten one of those other kinds of pics. Yeah. I have.
I think it's because people know better than to screw with she.
I think it's because, well, maybe, but I doubt it. I think it's because of my age, for one.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the younger guys are way more likely to whip it out. And maybe not so much at my age. Yeah, so I think that's probably it.
Well, yeah, I mean, because that was not a thing ever in the history of the world until recently.
Yeah, indecent exposure was never that wasn't even a thing before.
No one. As a matter
Trench
of fact, no one
coats,
had even
that
seen.
Right, the thing where you open your trench coat, that was just a wives' tale. That was just a urban myth.
I like how ancient Egyptians were like, I'm going to show somebody 500 years from now what my exposed wiener looks like. I'm not going to be done for this girl right now, but eventually someone's going to stumble on this, be real impressed.
Yeah, that's right. Then I'll get a date.
And I asked the artist to draw a little bit bigger.
Yeah, just help me out a little bit.
Yeah. I am so happy I did this topic. That made my day. Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, we got Wopsle to say the word wiener. I think that we've won podcasting.
Yes, we won the podcast today. This is I got to end it right here. That's it. So, Tone, give me your rating for online dating. How about that? We'll call it online dating.
Oh.
Your rating for online dating. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to rate online dating 1 leg. That's it. I'm rating it 1.
Now, I know some guys out there saying you should have said 3 legs.
Oh,
no,
that gets into the whole picture.
Exactly.
Thing.
So what do you rate online dating?
I'm wondering if on the one leg only app, is there only an equals or can it be like an greater than or equals to? Can you like set like is it like buying a house where you can like set, like an in point and an out point?
Right.
I think
Mm-hmm.
I think there should be a little like approximate sign, like the equals,
Right.
But it's not an equal sign. It's I don't know what you call those things.
Yeah,
anyway,
like a
approximately
roughly
1
equivalent
leg.
to- yeah.
Give or take.
Hey, someday I really love the idea of this podcast getting big enough that somebody goes back and archives all of the topics and ratings. I just want like the topic and then our 3 ratings, right?
Yeah.
After. I think that would be a really fun website to get to go and just look at. And so I'm really excited for my rating of this one to be on that eventual inevitable website because I'm going to have to rate this one a 1,000-year-old wiener carving.
I had to get up out of my chair.
Oh man, that was good.
Oh.
Ooh. Oh boy.
Dang, I wish I could end it there. All right. Well, I'm going to have to rate online dating expanding my parameters to 100 miles because there's nobody within a 50-mile radius of me.
I love that. Those are your two options on the dating apps: is to lower your standards,
Yes.
or expand your radius,
Or have a long distance
Your research
relationship,
radius.
which I just went through and it's not fun. So I guess I'll just be alone.
Well, that's your third option. I
Yeah,
guess.
that's the third option. Okay, well that's gonna do it for us this week, everybody.
Yeah, hey, we would seriously love some suggested reviews from you guys. So it's fun for us to get those, to hear what you're thinking. Just like Tom Brady, Michael Jordan sent us one this week. If you want to be on next week's episode, send us your ideas at reviews@kick.cool.
And we also want to thank, as always, the band Bugs for letting us use the song Reviews as our theme song. So please go like their Facebook page and tell them you love them. Thank you, Bugs.
You can support Kick the Cool by sharing us with your friends and maybe sharing a snippet on Facebook. And you can also go to kick.cool and buy us a coffee. So until next week, I'm She.
I'm Tone.
And I'm Wap.
Love you. Bye. Love you. Bye. 3,000-year-old wiener.
It's a hard one to rate, isn't it, guys? What in the world?
I've got mine for once. Don't you
Wow,
take it.
go She.
Oh, don't you take it.